Born Under a Bad Sign is the autobiography of Max Razo. In his book, Max shares the story of a highly colorful and adventurous life and of his days as a notorious former Hells Angel.
Born under a bad sign. I've been down since I began to crawl.
Hello, my name is Max Razo. I was born in San Diego, California, September 17th, 1951. I was raised in an area called Shelltown in San Diego. Those of you who know that, around 38th in Boston. I was there, approximately 6 years, and my father moved us to Paradise Hills, which is also known as the Hills. And those of you who know that know it's a pretty good place to be raised. I'm here to tell you about a book that I wrote. It's called Born Under a Bad Sign. Those of you who know me, it's about my bio growing up in San Diego and the things that I was involved in, which were pretty colorful. It's a pretty colorful life overall. Talks about racism, politics. It talks about the Hells Angels. I was in the Hells Angels for a while. Talked about my martial arts, the involvement I was in martial arts. It talks a lot about different political groups, different places that I've been. Talks about off-road racing and a championship I won in 1986. I won the Baja 1000, the Baja 500. Talks about the Mongol Wars. Those of you who watched Gangland and Outlaw Biker on TV and really didn't get the true story. I was one of the original 12 members that voted on that war. And the things that I did and contributed to that war will amaze you in the book. It's all detailed. It's all legally documented. It's documented by articles. There's no lies in there. I do not lie. I'm telling you the truth about everything and up front with everybody about everything. I have nothing to hide. I'm here just to open my heart to you guys, and it's all in the book. I was obedient. I wrote the book, in obedience to a vision that I had while I was in prison or being detained. I was looking at over 129, 130 years in charges, and I guess I was done with humanity. I couldn't take it anymore, so I asked for God to show me something, and He showed me a vision, and I'm here being obedient to the vision. I wrote the book in obedience to His vision. Knowing me, and most of you do, and some of you that don't know me out there, I would never write a book. It's the first and probably the only book that I'll ever write. But the message in it is important. Hopefully you get it. I think you'll take trips down memory lane in your own lives. I think you'll chuckle at some of the stuff that was funny, and some of the things will probably scare you. I says, it's a story about a man that comes full circle in his life and finds his meaning and his purpose. Hopefully this is a ministry that I have. Maybe it was given to me, and I'm fulfilling what I'm supposed to do. There's a song from P.O.D., Pale Blonde Death, I'm sure you heard of them, called Alive. And that'll tell you a lot about how I felt when I met God, and the message that I have to share with you is really important. I hope people will reach out and purchase the book and actually understand what the message really is.
1976. While training in martial arts, Max found an open door to join up and become a part of the Brotherhood of the Hells Angels.
1976, I was doing some martial art training with a friend of mine, Mick Leone, and actually it was White Tiger Kung Fu. And the way I met the second time I met a Hells Angels, I lined up with him and we were doing an exercise. I actually kicked him in the face and knocked him out. At that point, he invited me to his house after he got up and was securing the bleeding on his cheek. And he had one of his old ladies. At the time, he had 2 or 3 actually. And they invited me to come to his house that night. Well, of course, anybody in their right mind wouldn't get on your motorcycle and ride to the Hells Angels house after you knocked him out. But I figured I had to do it. I guess it was destiny, it was fate. So I went to his house and I was asked to actually become an official hang-around. Now there's 3 different stages. There's hang-around, there's a prospect, and there's a full patch holder. I decided at that time in my life that I was looking for acceptance anywhere I could possibly find it. And I found it in a group of gentlemen that were probably about as abused as I was from life at that time. And we seemed to have something in, I don't know, we kind of felt that we understood each other. that our lives were on the line constantly for each other. It was a brotherhood like no other. It was a test of your machoism, your manhood, or whatever you might say that was the ultimate. You know, being a warrior in the 20th century was the objective here. It was a brotherhood like no other. It was like a subculture that was beyond anything that I ever even thought about being around. It was brothers in battle. It was brothers in arms. Nothing brings men together or closer than death, and facing death, you know, constantly, and being in battle with each other. I saw that in them, and I wanted to be one. And I challenged myself, and I actually became a full patch holder.
Max tells us about the Hells Angels patch, why it's so important, and what it means.
The Hells Angel patch is like the American flag. There's so many people that's died for it, so much ideology behind it that we believed in. You couldn't even, as a citizen, you all out there in TV land or wherever you're at, you couldn't put your hand on my back. If you did, that prospect would be over there beating you down to the ground, or I'd punch you in the mouth. You have no right to touch that patch. That patch means everything to a Hells Angel. That patch does not hit the ground by any means, just like the flag, until the death. Nothing touches the ground at Hells Angel. Hells Angel's never wrong. Hells Angel's always right. Remember that. It's a lifestyle, 1%er lifestyle. The outlaw biker lifestyle is totally different. The outlaw motorcycle club, the Mongols, the pagans, all these other clubs won't even come close to what we believe in. They attack each other, more or less ripping each other off, messing around with each other's wives. We don't do that. We had rules, we had laws that were punishable by death, and I mean immediate death. And the patch was a big thing to us. You know, nobody disrespected it. Nobody touched it without asking permission. And it was broken down in two different things. The bottom rocker you'd get when you were a prospect. Then you earn your way to be a full patch member, which would get the Death's Head, which was the skull and the wing, and the Hells Angels on top with the MC, which is Motorcycle Club. Once you received that, you were a full vote. You had full vote and say-so in any matter.